Hello, welcome to Get Your Mind On. I'm Lori Stoss. As I walked out this morning, I could feel the cool, brisk air, and I could see my breath, and see the frost on the grass, and also see some of the leaves that have fallen off the trees. And what does that all depict? That depicts fall. That depicts change. Those times of year when we have the seasons, and depending on where you live, what that looks like. And sometimes that's exciting for us, and sometimes that's not so exciting as we think about, we might like fall, but going, oh, it's getting closer to winter. And some of us may not like that change. So as we think about change, does change get us excited, or does change get us a little emotional and weary? And when we think about change, I'm talking about the little change that we deal with today outside with the weather. As my daughter thinks about, oh, I need to, get an Under Armour shirt underneath my uniform because it's cold, or we have to get gloves and hats, and some of those basic things that we do in our day-to-day world to prepare for the seasons of change. But let's think about change and how you deal with change. Some of us are excited about change, and when I ask people, do you like change? There's lots of hands that go up, yeah, I really like change. And then I ask the next follow-up question, do you like change that you're in control of? That's usually like, yeah, but what about the change that comes upon you that you have no control over? Oh yeah, I don't really like that change. So really we have to dig deeper into thinking about change for each of us individually and know that everybody responds to change differently, and that's okay. But change occurs around us every day. Every day there's technology changing. The iPhone just came out, the new iPhone, and now you have so many options to choose from, all these different sizes and different types of foods and different restaurants and the weather, and everything around us is changing. And how do we respond to that? So first, you really have to understand, sometimes for some of us, we do have a little bit need for predictability in our life, a little need to know that we have control of some things in our life, because that makes us feel calmer and peaceful inside, and that's okay. So really, when you have to deal with bigger kinds of change around you that isn't a change that you've chosen, maybe change that's placed upon you, you have to really understand what inside of you needs to be continued to be the same so you can deal with that change. Some of us deal okay with change as long as we're prepared for it. Well, not all change is a planned change, right? Sometimes we don't know about some of that change. So we have to think about, if we do need that predictability in our life, how can we prepare for that? How can we put a plan together versus go, oh my gosh, my world is now upside down and I'm going to freak out and feel overwhelmed because there's so much change. So really, for those of you who need that, take the time to really think about, what can I continue to stay the same so I can really work into that change over time, even if it's placed upon me very quickly. Now there's another group of us who really love change, right? We're the ones that give us more change. We sometimes probably create our own change because we like that excitement of the change that comes through. So really, it's thinking about the purpose of change and how do you respond to that change that's coming around you. We have to, if we're sometimes placing change upon others, some of us have very high adaptability. We go with the flow. We like to do different things instantaneously. You have to stop and think about, is that change necessary? What's the purpose of that change? And also, how is that change affecting others? Because sometimes when we place change, we like it, but we forget about others that may not like change as much. So we have to think about, how do they respond to that? So when we think about all of that change occurring, I think the best thing you need to think about is, who am I? What is the change that I like, and how can I respond to change, whether it's placed upon me or change that I have control of? I go back and think about my son when he went to college, and thinking about the change for him, knowing that that was going to be happening. So that was a predictable change. So we could really ease into thinking about, what are the different things that will be changing? How do we work into that so we can be prepared for that? So I really want you to just think about it in terms of how change is for you, and how do you respond to that? So first, for positive charge this week, I want you to think about, what does change mean to me? Is it exciting? Is it a little bit weary and challenging? And two is, if change is placed upon me, how do I respond to that? And what can keep me calm? So when we think about change is around us every day. But the way we respond to it, our mindset, the way we think about what change means, is what we do have control over. So take the time to really think about what change means to you, and change that mindset to think about how you can respond to it in a positive way. Thank you for joining us today, and remember to get your mind on.